So this is a 7-inch generic tablet case. I say generic because there is actually a whole range of tablet manufacturers. The one that I'm most familiar with being Dragon Touch, their Y88 and their Y88X. They all follow the same port configurations, the same placing. However, even then, the actual general structure of this one is what's known as semi-opened. So it will actually work pretty much with any 7-inch tablet, because as you can see, the most likely placing of any tablet's buttons are going to be around the corners. If you're thinking of this for a tablet other than what's listed on the product page, take note that on the left-hand side, most of the left-hand side is covered with a flap. The bottom it's got a flap there. Speaker placement, there's got a cutout there, but it's in the lower right corner. I can give or take that, though. I never really noticed much of a difference whether there was a speaker cutout or not in general terms, regardless of what case or tablet. And then on the right hand side there is a closure right there. But especially with those general tablets that I'll say share the same configuration, they all tend to have their buttons right there on the corner, so there's their biggest opening space. I do have the kickstand. Here's the kickstand in use. It works. Main thing personally for me when it comes to cases though is not necessarily kickstands, not really. In fact, when it comes to that sort of thing, I prefer to use independent little tablet stands. They're out there, all kinds of options, but little tablet stands in themselves. But for actual using this as a stand, hey, it works. Yeah, it does pick up. The inner nap does kind of pick up the fluff a little easily, but for general protection of the device, it does offer that. There was a little bit of gunk on the surface here, so I will take a little bit of cleaner and just kind of wipe it down. But otherwise, I was doing the sniff test. No off smells. Stitching is good, and no little dangling threads. That's something that drives me nuts. And now this bottom portion is not affixed. I have a case that I use for my Samsung Tab 3 that actually has sort of a Velcro strip in there. And I'll be honest, I actually find that Velcro strip from getting my Samsung Tab 3 in and out, because of that bottom flap being affixed, actually a big hassle. This isn't affixed and will make it easier to get your little 7-inch in and out. And with the girth of your tablet in there, it should equate to staying in there fairly well. However, since it is not affixed, if you're for any reason holding it like this, it might kind of push itself slowly out. But I really don't think that's going to be a security issue whatsoever, because once again, the girth will pin that to the back quite well. So even though this is not affixed, I don't foresee that being any kind of a security issue unless you're doing something really strange. You know what I mean? But there is that consideration. And the elastic band, typical elastic band, just like actually on my Samsung Tab 3 case. It's got a good elasticity to it. But if you're here yanking on it, like that, really abusing it, yes, it's going to stretch and sag over time. But if you, keep care of it without pulling on it, it's going to keep and take care of you. So all in all, here's the camera port. All in all, it does what it needs to do. For at least for me, like I said, my most important thing why I like cases on my devices is not necessarily for any kind of stand or anything like that, but simply keeping the face covered and then keeping the screen covered to prevent. I live with cats, so you probably can already understand where I'm going with this. Something to keep the screen free of dust, cats, that sort of thing. That's why I like covers on my devices, just to kind of cut down on the dust and cat hair and all that good stuff. So there you guys go. You have yourself a great one.